Right now on the NBC 5 News at 10, reaction to criminal charges in the line-of-duty death of a Chicago fire captain with the incredible boxing fundraiser between police and firefighters. That's coming up.
A unique farewell service to remember Pope Francis in Chicago tonight as the world prepares to say goodbye tomorrow.
The weekend's not bad weather-wise, but there is a severe weather threat coming early next week. Brant's hour-by-hour stormcast is straight ahead.
So you think you're getting a call from a loved one. They sound terrified, desperate, begging for help, but the voice isn't real. It's a deepfake. How scammers are using AI voice cloning apps to rip you off. The NBC 5 News at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Allison Rosati.
I'm Stephen Holt. Thanks so much for joining us at 10 o'clock. It did not take long for police to finally make an arrest following that fire in the Austin neighborhood that took the life of a Chicago firefighter.
Police arrested 44-year-old Charles Green just hours after Captain David Meyer was killed. Green now faces 2 felony murder charges and 1 felony count of aggravated arson. NBC5's Randy Gyllenhaal is live from CPD headquarters tonight with reaction. Randy.
Yeah, so prosecutors charged that Chicago man with setting the deadly fire. Memorial services are now planned for Captain Meyer. And today, across from the public safety headquarters, police and firefighters gathered for a special fundraiser, a boxing battle of the badges. On one side, hundreds of police. On the other, Chicago's finest firefighters. But before tonight's boxing match, a moment of silence honoring Captain David Meyer, the firefighter killed in the line of duty.
Honoring our gold badge and gold star families.
The importance of this work and how dangerous it is, and what a calling it is for someone to go out and decide to put their lives on the line.
Team Fire!
The support in this gymnasium overwhelming after a sad few days.
I could never do it. They're true heroes.
Anybody should be out here supporting our public servants because they do a lot for any city.
Tonight's event, a rough and tumble, ready to rumble boxing tournament, raising money for families of first responders. It comes hours after police announced an arrest in the deadly garage fire. 44-year-old Charles Green now facing charges of murder and arson.
They found him very quickly.
The firefighters union grateful for the police work and for all their fellow first responders.
This is a fundraiser to help support families. And this is good for us to get together and kind of unwind. This week was a very stressful week.
Both Chicago police and fire have had difficult weeks over the past few years, and as they duke it out on the mat, despite the punches, you can feel the camaraderie, the friendship, and bravery.
Neither one of these jobs are easy, and our lives could be taken in a second. But yet, these people get up, they run into fires, they run into gunfire. It's just an amazing thing to think about when you really, really put it all in perspective.
Well, as for the boxing tournament, after the police won last year, firefighters took the title this year, and many of those firefighters will actually be in court tomorrow for the suspect's first appearance. For now, we're live here at 35th and Michigan. Randy Gyllenhaal, NBC 5 News.
And there are some somber days ahead, Randy, for firefighters and community members. We want to pass along this information. Visitation for Captain Meyer will take place on Monday at Malik & Sons Funeral Home. That's on Chicago's northwest side. His funeral is set for Tuesday morning at St. John Brebeuf Catholic Church, and that's in Niles.
We're going to turn now to Northwest Indiana and a traffic stop in Gary that ended in gunfire. This happened this afternoon near 21st and Malcolm X Drive. According to the Lake County Sheriff's Department, the Gary police officers had stopped a car. A man who was in another vehicle and not involved in the stop got out and approached the officers carrying 2 knives. One officer shot the man. He was taken to the hospital. Police have not given his name nor an update on his condition.
One of several people injured in this terrible crash today in suburban LaGrange has died. Police say at least 3 cars were involved in this crash at the intersection of 47th and Willow Springs Road in LaGrange. 5 people rushed to the hospital. The medical examiner tonight confirming that one of the people died from their injuries. Their identity, however, and the official cause of death have not yet been released.
Let's turn now to talk about the weather. We had a lot of changes today, starting with sunshine, then we had the rain.
And consistent with the model guidance all week, the weekend looks dry, and I pulled the showers. There was an iffy chance on Sunday.
You pulled them.
Thank you for that.
They've been erased. Yeah, like it was me.
You can just do that?
Remember, I'm just the messenger. Cooler at the lakefront tomorrow. Cooler at the lakefront on Sunday. Monday, a risk of severe weather late. Let's hop ahead on the model and give you an idea of what that potential is for severe weather Monday night into Tuesday. There's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You see this frontal boundary approaching. Storm Prediction Center already has a 30% probability west of Chicago that we could see some severe weather. That will likely turn into a risk of enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. This 15% threat will probably be a slight risk for Chicago. Those storms coming through overnight Monday into Tuesday. More on the timing and a close look at the weekend with the hour-by-hour stormcast. That's all coming up. Steph and Allison, back to you.
Thanks, Brent. We'll see you soon.
At this hour, dignitaries and Catholics from around the world are descending on Vatican City. Let's take a live look together at St. Peter's Square, where it's now a little after 5 in the morning Saturday. The funeral for Pope Francis is less than 5 hours away.
Tonight, back here in Chicago, a special mass entirely in sign language was held for Catholics who are deaf.
NBC5's Courtney Sisk shows us how this mass focused on Pope Francis and his special connection and closeness to deaf people.
On the eve of Pope Francis's funeral, a community that cared deeply for him came together.
For deaf people, this Pope was special.
Father Joseph Mulcrone of the St. Francis Borgia Deaf Center in Dunning knows the impact the Pope had on the deaf community and the legacy he leaves behind.
This Pope really focused on people who are out there on the margins of life. People with disabilities, people who are deaf. Often society puts them out there. Well, this Pope paid attention to out there, not here, not the middle, not the powerful or the famous or the big dealers.
Father Mulcrone even remembers a time in 2018 when he was at the Vatican and Pope Francis used sign language to tell the deaf community he loves them.
Tell the Pope what we feel.
So to thank him, they held a special mass in his honor to tell him they love him too.
And it meant a lot for deaf people.
A group from the church was already scheduled to go to the Vatican tomorrow for the Jubilee of People with Disabilities. They're still making the trip despite the loss and plan to bring along this book, where parishioners tonight signed well wishes for the Pope.
That book's going to end up at the Vatican forever.
Also in Rome for the funeral are 50 heads of states, including President Trump and First Lady Melania, former President Joe Biden and Jill, and Illinois Senator Dick Durbin. Back at St. Francis Borgia, the faithful take time to reflect and thank the people's Pope for his impact on so many. Certainly has had an impact on so many people across the world. The Vatican expects nearly 500,000 people to pack St. Peter's Square tomorrow. In Dunning, Courtney Sisk, NBC5 News.
Thank you, Courtney. And you can watch it right here on NBC5. NBC News will provide special live coverage of the funeral for Pope Francis. It starts at 2:55 a.m. Chicago time tomorrow morning.
People in Aurora who need to go to the hospital for emergency care may need to go somewhere else. The state just revoked the trauma status for Mercy Medical Center. First responders and ambulances will now have to take severely injured patients to other hospitals in the area, like Rush Copley, which is about 20 minutes away from here. A statement from IDPH said the designation was removed because of a lack of trauma coverage and a lack of trauma surgeon availability.
I don't anticipate a significant change to our response. We do have 9 advanced life support ambulances and also 9 advanced life support engine companies.
Prime Health is the company that owns Mercy Medical Center. They put out a statement that says the number of trauma patients has declined at the hospital, and the designation doesn't change the quality of care that ER patients receive.
Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton became the first to launch a formal bid for Dick Durbin's U.S. Senate seat. Stratton's announcement came just 2 days after 80-year-old Senator Durbin announced that he will not seek his 6th term. Today, she also received Governor Pritzker's endorsement.
He's a fierce fighter for Illinois who I admire and respect so much, and I'm so honored to have earned his endorsement.
Other Democratic hopefuls include Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, and Congresswoman Robin Kelly, State Treasurer Michael Frerichs, and possibly former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Now, on the Republican side, the hopefuls there, Congressman Darren LaHood, former State Representative Tom Demmer, and along with wild card former Governor Rod Blagojevich.
We'll see what happens. From politics to football, night 2 of the NFL draft, and the Bears had 3 more picks.
And ahead in sports tonight, one of the newest monsters of the Midway is from East St. Louis, and he can't wait to play with Caleb Williams.
So this is a complex federal death penalty case. Luigi Mangione just entered his plea in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
And a story you don't want to miss. You think you're getting a call from a loved one, terrified, desperate, begging for your help, but the voice is not real. It's a deep fake. How scammers are using AI now to clone voices and rip you off. NBC5 Responds shows you how to protect yourself and your family.
In Chicago and the suburbs, we spend a lot of time in traffic. And if there's anything big that could cost you 10 minutes that day, I will let you know about it. I'm here to save you time, make life a little easier.
Commute with Kai, because you've got places to be.
Got some breaking news tonight. One of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent abuse survivors has died by suicide. Virginia Giuffre's family says she died in Australia, where she'd been living. Other Epstein victims have credited Giuffre with giving them the courage to speak out. You remember Epstein died by suicide in prison before he was set to go to trial. We always want to give you the reminder, if you or anyone you know is struggling, there is a nationwide crisis hotline you can call or even text. That number is 988.
The man charged with murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson pled not guilty in court today. Luigi Mangione faces 4 federal murder and stalking charges. Prosecutors have indicated that they intend to seek the death penalty. This trial is expected to start next year. And an update for you tonight. The Milwaukee judge arrested earlier today by the FBI is now out on bond tonight. Judge Hannah Dugan is accused of obstructing the arrest of an undocumented immigrant. The FBI says ICE agents were waiting outside of court to arrest him when Judge Dugan escorted the man out through a non-public jury door. President Trump accuses the judiciary of standing in the way of his crackdown on illegal immigration.
NBC5 Responds. So imagine this. You get a call. The voice sounds like someone you know, someone you love. They're terrified. They're begging for help. But it's not really who you think it is.
It actually could be a scammer using deepfake voice cloning software to try to rip you off. Our PJ Randawa tonight with tips to protect yourself and your family.
Deepfake technology is getting more convincing every day, and Ben Coleman, the head of a deepfake detection company, says it's the #1 digital risk people should be worried about.
Over the last few years, there's been an explosion of calls claiming that we have your daughter. She's in trouble, send money or else. Well, what's happened more recently is the call comes in and says, we are your daughter. Hi, I'm your daughter. I'm in trouble. Send money right now.
So what exactly is a deepfake and how does it work?
A deepfake is taking anyone's likeness, whether it's their face, a single image from LinkedIn or online, or a few seconds of audio, and using a pre-trained model, replicating their likeness to make them say or do anything you want.
These deepfakes are so advanced, it's even hard for experts to tell the difference. What's worse, there are no federal laws to stop somebody from cloning your voice without your permission. Consumer Reports reviewed 6 popular voice cloning apps, uncovering a troubling trend.
So 4 of the 6 apps had no meaningful way to ensure that the user had the original speaker's consent to voice clone them. And the 2 other apps were better, had more safeguards, but we found ways around them.
While it's practically impossible to erase your digital footprint, CR says there are some steps you can take to protect yourself.
So the first thing is just knowing that deepfake scams like this exist. The second thing is using 2-factor authentication on all of your financial accounts. That means having an extra security feature on your smartphone device that requires you to input a security code or respond to an email when trying to gain access to your bank accounts. And then the third thing is just being wary of calls, any type of text or any type of emails that are asking you for your personal financial information or just personal data.
And finally, do a gut check. Does what you're hearing or seeing make sense?
By default, you should not believe anything you see online. You should always kind of follow just standard common sense.
PJ Randawa, NBC5, responds.
Isn't it wild how technology allows that to happen in the first place?
It's frightening, too.
Frightening.
Because you think it's a real family member.
Is this a hologram, or am I really here?
I think it's
virtual
really
Brant
you,
Miller.
and we're counting on you tonight for some good news. That's what we're counting on.
Weekend is improving. Although you can see the tops of the buildings are obscured, it's kind of a hazy, drizzly-looking night. 50 is the current temperature at O'Hare. Tomorrow, 53. That's it. The wind's down Lake Michigan, so cooler at the lakefront. 66 on Sunday, and it looks like the showers avoid us. Maybe across Wisconsin we could see a couple of showers. Late Monday into Tuesday, windy and 80 on Monday. Monday night into Tuesday, potential for severe thunderstorms with this frontal boundary coming through. 77 on Tuesday. Let's give you an idea what's going on right now. And it's not a lot for Chicago. We wound up with a day today that had some thunderstorms toward midday. We started with sunshine and we've got cloud cover now. And overnight tonight, we'll start to see a little bit of clearing occurring. Here's what the hour-by-hour stormcast is saying. Some hints of clearing and then sunshine tomorrow. But cooler at the lakefront. There'll be some 60s well inland, but only lower 50s near the lakefront. And here's the change that we're seeing on Sunday. Maybe a couple of showers and sprinkles that dance along the Wisconsin state line and just slide over into Lake Michigan. Southeast component to the wind, so we still keep that cooler at the lakefront. Water temperature in the lake is in the upper 40s, close to 50 degrees. And now we close in on what's happening first part of next week. Here's the hour-by-hour stormcast. Monday, winds out of the south. We'll hit 80 degrees for the high temperature. This frontal boundary starts to approach. It looks like it's still coming in at night. Storm Prediction Center has a 30% severe risk. That could translate to the enhanced risk. And 15% will probably wind up being the slight risk for Chicago. Timing, 9, 10 o'clock at night. This still appears to be a nocturnal event happening overnight into the early morning hours. And again, our storm team will be in place to keep you safe. And put our app, we say that all the time, but put our app on your smartphone so you can take the radar. And when you tuck yourself in at night, you've got that security of having that information. Storms late Monday into Tuesday. The weekend looks dry at this point. And into next week, temperatures holding in the 60s.
Now, Brant's weather photos.
Check this out. Beautiful. I mean,
somebody was busy last fall.
Look at how, seriously, look how many bulbs. Just beautiful stuff there. Rick, thanks for sharing that. And you see down through the neighborhood, this.
Tug of war?
Terry.
My money's on the robin.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think the worm is stretched as far. That just looks painful, doesn't it?
No longer an inchworm.
Nope.
No. Okay, there's the score of that.
That's it.
Mark right here, Allison Rosati.
All right, it's Friday night.
10:18, almost 10:19.
Enjoy the weekend. See you back Monday at 10.
Thank you, Brant.
Well, Kai's going to be right back with your weekend traffic report.
And a Southside church celebrates 100 years.
Late News on NBC5, sponsored by your Chicagoland BMW Centers.
I'm Kai Martin. Let's look ahead to weekend travel. The CTA is doing track work on the red, brown, and green lines. Expect delays there. There are going to be delays on the O'Hare Blue Line branch. However, these are not related to CTA work. It's related to the work that IDOT's doing on the Kennedy Expressway. Single tracking as well between Montrose and Addison there. So just plan for some extra time. The good news is it's off-peak and it will be done by Monday's commute. IDOT, the Shorewood work at I-80 at I-55 heating up over the weekend. Wrigley Field, the Phillies are in town at the Cubs. And Soldier Field Walk MS takes over for a great cause Sunday at 11:30. Join our team tomorrow. We start at 5.
Thank you, Kai. A beloved Southside church celebrating a huge milestone tonight. The Providence Missionary Baptist Church commemorating its centennial anniversary. Happy anniversary. Church members, young and old, look at this, celebrating this joyous occasion. The church, located in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood, is also celebrating its senior pastor, who's been with the church for a quarter of a century. And the celebrations will continue throughout the weekend. Congratulations.
Happy anniversary, 100 years. Wow. Through rain, through snow, and through sleet, he has delivered the mail to people in Chicago's Mount Greenwood neighborhood for 40 years. Now, Larry Laporte, Mailman Larry, is getting ready to walk his last route. People in the neighborhood gathered for a party to say thank you to Larry. There were lots of tears, lots of hugs, wishing their favorite mailman a farewell. And in retirement, Laporte plans to travel. He wants to catch his grandkids' sporting events, and hopefully someone sent him a card in the mail. And someone else delivered it. There he is. Larry, congratulations on your retirement.
Happy
40 years.
retirement
Wow.
to him.
That's so sweet.
It is so
I love
sweet.
it.
All right, Casey, tonight's another big night for the Bears.
Yeah, more sweetness for the Bears. A lot going on. We had a couple other picks, so the Bears added on. It's very exciting. They add a few more player makers to the draft class. We'll tell you where they added on and what GM Ryan Poles saw in their first-round draft pick. And the Cubs are looking like the best team in the National League. How they fared after a rain delay on the north side. We know rain delays are always good for that team. More in sports after the break.
Brant and I have covered many storms together. He's mastered the science of it all.
Days before severe weather, we're already preparing. We have our weather producer, Joey, Telemundo Chicago chief meteorologist, Maricela. We're all there preparing to keep you safe.
That's what's great about being part of Chicago's biggest weather team. Everyone brings their own expertise, and that's key to being accurate.
NBC5 and Telemundo Chicago, Chicago's biggest and most accurate weather team. Weather on NBC5 is sponsored by Wintrust, Chicago's bank.
Owning a food truck was my dream, but my back and leg pain made every day a struggle. Then my personalized arch support system from the Good Feet store got me back in the picture.
Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks.
I'm back to being the best version of myself.
Get back in the picture. The Good Feet store. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
When you want junk to disappear, all you have to do is point. 1-800-GOT-JUNK is going to disappear the first item you point at for just $89. It could be just about anything that 2 people can carry. We make space for possibilities.
Rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL draft tonight, and the Bears added 3 more players to the 2025 draft class. Starting with a new potential target for QB Caleb Williams, the Bears drafted Mizzou wide receiver Luther Burden with the 39th pick in the 2nd round. Now, Burden has had 61 receptions for 676 yards last season at Missouri. He's also a graduate of East St. Louis High School and scored 3 touchdowns in the IHSA Class 6A state championship game. He shared his excitement with how he'll be working with his new quarterback, Caleb Williams.
I definitely follow him. We follow each other, on social media and stuff. And, I watch a lot of his games because, he's, his number 1 pick. He's been nice since, I've known him. So I'm definitely a big fan of him and excited to get to work with him.
In addition to Luther Burden, the Bears made a trade with the Buffalo Bills and ended up with the 56th and 62nd pick in the 2nd round. They drafted Ozzie Trapilo, the offensive tackle from Boston College, and Shamar Turner, the defensive tackle from Texas A&M. You guys are going to love those guys, I promise. And 92 picks ago, the Bears kept their 10th overall pick and drafted tight end Colston Loveland in the 1st round. Loveland is already admired by the Bears brass. He spoke today at Hallis Hall, where he shared how his upbringing working on a farm adds to his competitive edge on the football field.
Just hard work, consistency, just doing the best you can do, better than everyone else around you, So I think that correlates pretty well to the football field. There's a lot of lessons for sure. Love his competes, his fire. This kid is, he's physical, he's tough. He plays the game the right way. When you watch the tape, there's an energy level that comes with him. You can see it throughout the game, and it's infectious to other guys.
Loved his competes. I'm going to start using that. The Cubs welcome the Phillies to the friendly confines today. Cubs were 5-1 in their homestand entering the game, including taking 2 in a row from the defending champion Dodgers. It was a 2-hour rain delay before getting going on the north side. Cubs got on the board in the 2nd inning. John Birdie doubled to the gap in left center. Pete Crow Armstrong will score easily from 2nd for the 1-0 lead. Cubs up 2-0 in the 4th. Then Ian Happ pulls one down the left field line for a double. Birdie's going to try to score all the way from first, and he's huffing and puffing as he is waved home. Birdie slides in safe. Cubs win 4-0. White Sox and A's with a late start out west, scoreless in the 5th when Miguel Vargas singles to right center with 2 on. Matt Theis scores to give the Sox the lead. They're up 3-1 now in the 6th. All right, how about this? Last night, Luther Burden was surprised when he wasn't selected in the first round, so he put on his Mizzou gear and he went to practice as a way to refocus and get out some frustration. He posted this photo on social media. Well, here's what happened. After the Bears drafted him, they posted a very similar image, this time with Bears gear, saying, quote, "We're ready for you, Luther."
Oh, I love that.
Pretty cool.
Get out and practice.
Cool.
And, yeah.
Kind of shows him now he's got a home in Chicago.
Yeah.
But we're excited for this team.
He's got a
this
helmet
year.
and gloves and everything.
Yeah, I love it.
Whole shebang.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you. We're back with this week's High Five.
Plus, Brand's final check on your weekend forecast.
Tonight, Disney announced they're adding to the It's a Small World song. They're doing it for everyone who got on the ride and thought, I just wish this song was longer.
Jimmy has Renee Zellweger performing Kid Theater.
Why are all my lines what?
And Halsey. Plus the Lumineers tonight.
Steppenholt and Allison Rosati. Weeknights on NBC5.
Get this low-mileage lease on this 2025 Cadillac XT5 Premium Luxury for around $569 per month. Visit your local Cadillac dealer today.
Here, anything is possible, as long as you can imagine it. And that's what makes Orlando unbelievably real.
Mattress Madness. 20,000 stores and famous brands out of business. Mattress Madness. Choose any size, $199. Twin, full, queen, even king, $199. The great mattress brands offered the dump 1,000 beds at a one-time 50% off. We bet the house. The market crashed. We lost. Now you win. Your choice, any size, $199. Every Tempur-Pedic and Smart Bed. Free white glove delivery. 5 years interest-free. Big screens free. Mattress Madness. One weekend at the dump.
The Kia K4 and K5 represent what comes next. The next movement for innovation. And the next movement for acceleration. The Kia K4 and K5. Lease a new 2025 K4 LXS for $209 a month.
Tonight, we'd like to give a big high five to Roman Gutierrez in Grays Lake. Now, Roman has been serving our country for nearly 20 years in the U.S. Navy, and he's been working really hard in school, earning his associate's degree this month. Now, Roman serves as a recruit commander at boot camp, and his family is endlessly proud of him, and we are too. Thank you for your service. Congratulations, Roman. This high five is for you. What a great smile. If you'd like to nominate someone special for a high five, just scan the QR code you see there with your phone or go to NBCChicago.com/high five. Fill out that nomination form. Tell us about somebody special, and who knows, they just might get a shout out on our News at 10 on Friday night.
Thank you, Roman. Brant Miller, weekend looking pretty good.
Yeah, it does look good. Improving conditions from what we saw this afternoon. Tomorrow, a dry day, 53, cooler at the lakefront. Sunday, 66, cooler at the lakefront. Potential for severe weather Monday night into Tuesday. Stay with our storm team for updates throughout the weekend.
We'll be watching. Thank you, sir.
We can't wait to get our weekend started.
Right now.
Looking at the clock.
Yeah.
Almost there.
That is going to
10
do it
seconds.
for us tonight. Thank you for making us your choice for news.
Jimmy Fallon's up next. We'll see you back here on Monday night at 10 o'clock. 5, 4, 3, 2.